you had really good pickles at the crafty table, and I was like trying to figure. I bought some pickles on the way home, and I was like, these aren't as good. Like
On the way home.
On the way home,
You were so
I stopped at the grocery store and I got pickles, and I was like, these aren't as good.
All right, love this. Have some. Charlotte. So it's
Right.
Quiet on set. Hold for focus. Hi friends, I'm Annalise.
And hi enemies, I'm Zoe.
And this is Hold for Focus,
A podcast where we talk to emerging filmmakers, actors, and artists to learn about the different paths people take to make it in the industry.
Today we chat with Charlotte Polk, a hilarious comedy writer and performer.
We get into their beef with stand-up, their ever-evolving journey with finding creative courage, and their newfound TikTok fame.
Yeah, we do.
A humorous human with an acting acumen. They can sing at a function and moonlight in production. And honestly, I'm so happy for her. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Charlotte Polk.
Thank you so much. That was a great intro. Yeah. Wait, I love that.
Wow.
Incredible.
Okay, now for my intro, so the people know what you actually do.
Am I still sitting down for have I not
You're-
sat down
you're
yet?
here.
You're here.
Okay, I'm
You've
here.
arrived.
I'm here. I've arrived. Oh, thank you for saying that. And I've always thought that.
Charlotte Polk is a writer and performer from St. Louis who's based in Brooklyn. They perform in the indie improv group Stress Dream, co-created, wrote, and starred in the web series I'm So Happy For You, out on YouTube now. And this year, she played the lead in 500 Rats, a love story, at the Here Arts Center, and was nominated for a Broadway World Off-Broadway Award for Best Performance. That's sick.
It's like the Tonys of off-Broadway.
I'm
basically.
sure.
Off.
off. She has been doing sketch comedy for 7 years, and you can catch some of that on her TikTok, where she has amassed 10,000 followers and 1.5 million likes. You can find them at Is Charlotte Polk Still Alive on Instagram and Regular Charlotte on TikTok. We're so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Does this
for
seem
coming.
official?
Yeah, it seems really official. This is actually my first podcast recording, and I'm very excited about that. I told my grandma about it. I was walking here, I called my grandma, and she was like, that's fantastic. Like, what is the podcast? And I was like explaining what I was going to be talking about, and she's like, oh my God. She thinks
You've
everything
made
is
it.
extreme. Yeah, she basically is like, you made it. She was talking about the Broadway World Award, and she was like, before I say anything, congratulations. And I was like, yes, thank you. It is not a Tony, just in case that's what you were thinking, but thank you.
When did you find out about that?
Like this week, somebody texted in the group chat and said, in the group chat for the play, and said, we've been nominated for a Broadway World Award for best new off-Broadway play. And then I was poking through the website and found out that I had also been nominated. Like, I think everybody in the play.
Tell you that?
I guess not, but I think everybody in the play gets nominated for best performance. But I was like,
Oh.
and I was like, I've been nominated. I was like, most importantly, I've been nominated.
That's so
Is there a
exciting.
ceremony?
I doubt it. I loved that play. That was so much fun.
Oh,
to
it
be
was
in.
so good.
Oh my God, I forgot you saw it.
Yeah.
We saw it with Luca,
Wait, that's
too.
so nice. Yes, you were there. You totally were there. I saw you guys outside afterwards. Wait.
That's funny because I felt like you were delivering things to me. Like you found me in the crowd, but I
Wait,
guess.
I love that. I could not see anyone. But I love that you kind of transcended that. In many ways, I was performing it straight to you. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna ask you about that, so we might as well kind of start
Okay, sure.
there. What was that like auditioning for it and like putting on that show?
I had like a very long, my girlfriend's sister is a theater director, and I had talked with her for like 4 hours over the summer about like stuff that I'd want to be doing in theater. And she was like giving me all this advice and was like, here's what you can do to your website and your resume and your reel and blah, 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 blah. And then she sent me this audition call, like this call for submissions for this play, and was like, you should try out for this. And I was like, oh, okay, this seems pretty cool, like whatever. She was like, I'll tell them to look out for your audition. I think I sent in a TikTok as like my initial tape, which was like the thing that I was doing, because they were like, it can be comedic, and I was like, great. The less I have to think about it, the better, because I think I do get in my head when I'm auditioning and stuff like that. But I sent in a TikTok. They were like, great, we would love to have you submit a self-tape. And I did that. I had like a crazy setup where I brought in like a standing mirror into my room and like taped the sides to it, and then had like my iPad on it, and I had a friend reading lines to me off of the iPad. It was crazy. But then I had a callback, and I made this face. And they were like, you were doing some incredible eye acting. And I was like, they're being nice. And I actually left that callback thinking, well, I kind of biffed it, and at least I'm putting myself out there. And then later they were like, okay, so no, we actually loved you. And will you be in this play? And I was like, absolutely, I would love to. It was like the first thing I had auditioned for after I decided I wanted to be doing more theater, and I booked the lead. Like, it was kind of just like really good timing. And like, I also like adored the cast and the team and the show. Like, the show was so funny. I remember at the first read through, I was like, wow, I have so much to learn from everyone in this room, because you guys are all so funny in so many different ways. Yeah, we rehearsed it for like 6 weeks or something like that. And I did my regular day job, and then I would come to rehearsals from like 7 to 10 or whatever, which was so fun. I like forgot how much fun it is to just like be in a room and be like bouncing shit off of people and like making choices that you think will make people in the room laugh, which I think is like, I forget how important it is. I feel like sometimes I'm trying to play to like the platonic idea of an audience member of like what is objectively funny, and that just doesn't work because comedy is not like objective.
Yeah.
But when you have people in the room that are like actually laughing, reacting to things you're doing, you can make choices that you're like, oh, I think you'll like this one. Which I feel like then ends up being a lot funnier. And it went so well. And I like really loved everyone in the cast. And like, I also was really heartened by just like how many people came. Like, you guys came. I feel like I texted a lot of people and was like, hey, like, you can come to this thing if you want. Like, I'm in this crazy play. And people were like, yeah, of course I'll come. And I was like, wait, what? For real? Do you like me? And they were like, yeah, we've made this very clear. You're like our friend. And I was like, that's crazy, because I consider you a friend. They're like, yeah, I know, because we are friends.
You were saying like it's better to like play off someone real rather than this like idea of like this objective audience member. Is that something you feel like you came to recently, or
it's something that, you know how some lessons you learn over and over and over again, and then every time you learn it, it's like you learned it a new time. Like, I'm constantly learning that like if you go to bed at a normal time, you wake up feeling better, and like that's something that I know,
right?
But like every time it happens, I'm like, wait, has anyone heard about this?
I gotta tell someone.
I have to tell somebody about this. Like, I feel like I'm learning lessons like that all the time. And I think that it is most clear to me when I am collaborating with people that I also think are funny. Like, there was a time I'm in this writing group, and we decided to write this like very stupid, and I mean stupid in like the nicest way possible. That's like my highest compliment for a sketch. We wrote this like very stupid sketch called President Hunter.
Wait. This is in the person we know.
Yeah, it's in the person.
Okay. It's like,
you might have to leave his name because he has like a real career now, but it's called President Hunter. And it's about he's a novelty scissors salesman, so he sells like those giant scissors that you cut ribbons with. And the president calls him and is like, we're opening, I forget what he's opening, I could find it, but they're like opening something. The president calls him and he's like, hey, I need some ceremonial scissors. He's like, I need them in 2 hours. It's like, but Reno, Nevada is 3 hours away walking. And the president goes, so you better run. And then, but like he goes, and then he accidentally trips and kills the president with his giant ceremonial scissors. And then the ghost of George Washington appears, and he says, every time you kill a president, you get a wish. And so the rest of the sketch, it's a movie trailer. And then the rest of the sketch is him killing presidents so he can get a wish. And it was the dumbest thing that we've ever collectively thought of. But like, the reason why it was so funny is because we were all sitting together on my roof pitching jokes because we knew that it would make the other people in the group laugh.
That's really cool. Yeah. I just interrupted you.
Yield. No, it's okay. So I was just going to ask how you got into comedy.
When I started college, I was so depressed. And I was like, I was like thinking ahead, and I was like, when I'm not depressed, I'm going to want to have communities. So I was like, okay, I should be trying out for stuff. And I was like trying out for a cappella because I was like, when I'm happy again, this is going to be so fun. But then I saw these two people tabling on cross campus, and they were like, are you interested in sketch comedy? Are you interested in sketch comedy, to people passing by? And I was like, wait, I wonder if I walk by, if they would like ask me if I'm interested in like sketch comedy, and like maybe like hand me like a flyer. Like, that would be like so cool. Like, maybe they'll like see something in me. And so I walked by, and I was like, And they were like, hey, are you interested in sketch comedy? And I was like, yeah, I guess I am. Kind of the second that I started auditioning and doing that, I was like, oh, I kind of love this. This is so much fun. And that was kind of that's kind of my main comedic thing that I do besides like, I guess the web series and writing. But I feel like I've wanted to be a writer since I was a kid. Like I wanted to be an author for a long time. I wanted to write books. I wrote this, I was thinking about this the other day. I wrote this book on my like iMac computer, on our family computer that we shared, that was like a fantasy romance called The Turquoise Bloods.
Did you write a full, because I did the same thing, and I was in 5th grade and I had a little laptop and I wrote, it was kind of like a ripoff of like The Hunger Games in some ways.
That.
But I only made it like 6 chapters in or something.
I like don't think I finished it. I think I outlined it, and then I think I wrote most of the like, I was really into, you can kind of tell that I was like a little bit of a lesbian because I was kind of just writing a main character that I like wanted to be dating. Like if I looked back, I was thinking about it, and the character that I wrote kind of resembles my girlfriend now in that it's like kind of red hair and green eyes.
That's cute.
And I was like, it's because it's so cute. It's because she's so cute. And now I'm like, well, yeah, you were right. And for a different reason than what you thought you were. But mostly it's been sketch. I've like dabbled in stand-up, which I don't love. I like do improv now, which is good. And I think is like useful for like living in the moment, kind of doing shit with other people, collaborating type stuff. But I think specifically this year I started taking a sketch class and was like, oh, and this is what I love.
Why are you not too hot about stand-up?
It's not that I actually have been watching more stand-up lately, and it's not that I like don't like it. No, I think it might be that I don't like it. It's not that I don't think people are funny in stand-up, it's that it's not the most interesting form of comedy to me. I think like even like character sketch, which is just like you straight to audience kind of thing, or like you doing one character in front of the audience, is like, that to me feels more exciting than stand-up, which is not like, stand-up is really hard also, and I think I also don't love being like the only person on stage. I think I have a hard time committing to it. Yeah. But I think that stand-up is just, it's just not my ministry, and I think that's okay. And I've been watching a lot more of it because I think it's like important to take in a lot of things and like whatever. But yeah, I think it's not for me, and I think accepting that about myself is nice. And like maybe that'll change, but for now I'm like, it's just not my thing.
And your improv group, Stress Stream, what are the dynamics that you feel like make a group work in that kind of setting?
Ooh, this is a good question. Well, I think that something that works in our favor is that we all are like, we're not selfish on stage. Like, I think that something that works is that we are all really committed to collaborating. Like, we don't need, I think part of it works because we know each other really well. Like, we worked on the web series together. We've like been friends for a while. None of us, I think, feel an urgent need with every idea to prove that we are the funniest of the three of us. I think like we all bring kind of different things and have different key strengths that really make us like fit well together. And I think like being able to set aside ego and be like, okay, actually your joke is the funniest joke for this moment, or like is I think that's the part of what makes it good. I also think Rebecca and Ehai have a ton of improv experience and I have very little. And I always feel very cared for on stage with them. Like, they're not going to let me look like an idiot or like hang me out to dry, which is like part of improv. And like, I'm still learning a lot of the rules. I actually struggle quite a bit with yes and, even though that's like the number one. And then we also just like each other and we like hanging out.
We do like a game at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were brainstorming games, I was like, what if we have Charlotte like lead us through some kind of improv game? Like, could that be fun? Somebody very skilled and 2 people not skilled?
I wouldn't consider myself very skilled.
Well, Annalise was like, we are so bad that it would be not even enjoyable
I didn't even say,
for
I said
people to
I
watch.
am so bad.
I think I get looped into that though. I'm just like not good at it.
Well, I don't give you anything to work off.
One that you guys probably could do is, we do this as a warm-up sometimes, and every time I'm like, I love this one. It's called 5 Things. And you'd go like, Zoe, and then you say yes. And then I say, what are 5 cereals that don't exist?
Even when you just said this out to me, I was like, I could say something.
Yeah.
And I started to get nervous.
No, but it's like, the thing is, when we do it before a show, it just is, you have to answer. So it's like, it doesn't actually have to be the funniest thing in the world. And oftentimes you say something off the cuff that's like actually hilarious. Last show, Ehi, I was like, what are 5 things you don't want to hear when your dentist is in your mouth? And for number 5, he said, I'm gonna take this tongue out. And I laughed so hard.
Did you do any like performance related things pre-college? Okay.
That's not true, actually. I did. I'm
Just lying.
I'm lying. What I did in high school was a cappella. Sorry. I wasn't a theater kid in high school. I like played a lot of sports. I was gay in a different way.
What sports did you play?
I played volleyball, basketball, and lacrosse. I hated basketball and was so bad at it. And I only did it for 2 years in high school. And I was like bad to the point where I rode the bench unless we were up by so much that I couldn't possibly fuck it up, or losing by so much that I could not possibly make it worse. But I was 100% from the free throw line. So
100%.
100%.
That's
great. I shot 3.
Oh.
I shot 3.
And you made all 3.
And I made all 3. So
Well, we kind of like established that you do like many different forms of creative work, of like you have your comedy and writing and also production. But is there an area that you feel most excited about, or like that you focus the most on?
yeah, like right now, the projects that are most exciting to me, I'm working on season 2 of the web series with Rebecca and Ehi. I have a couple of friends who we're going to email you about that at some point, just so you know. Just so you don't think you've been cut out.
You're not invited.
We're going to email you about that. I'm like trying to be doing more sketch because I realized that's like the kind of thing that I really enjoy doing, and I like have seen some success with character stuff on TikTok, so I'm trying to be doing more of that. I think right now, I would say the other day I was journaling, because I journal, like, it's not a big deal. But I was journaling, and I was like, I think that 2026 for me is going to be the year of practice, and not practice in like a middle-aged mom who does Pilates, who's like my meditation practice in like the way that like a 4th grader is like tooting away at that like plastic recorder kind of thing, where it's like it might be a little ugly, and it might be spitty and gross, but like I'm gonna try and just really hit them reps. To be candid, the thing that I am really working on is I have a little bit of a disorder. I won't name it, but it is obsessive and compulsive in nature. And
You won't name it though.
I won't name it. Okay. That's too much information for me to share on the internet. I don't feel comfortable. But this disorder that's obsessive and compulsive in nature, the treatment for it is exposure therapy, which is like small repeated exposures to things that make you uncomfortable or anxious or like panicky. And I realized recently that like one of the things that I do when something makes me stressed out or anxious or whatever is I avoid it. And I think that that is really affecting my work creatively, because I care a lot about, I forget what the term is called. They say that the disorder, which I won't name, is ego dystonic, which means that like it attacks your values in a way. So like things that make you really anxious are usually things that you care about. Like I really care about my family, so I get really anxious about like what if something were to happen to them. And with creative stuff, it's like I really care about being good at this thing and really value it. So like what if I am not those things? And my response to that is just like, well, I'm just not going to write until I have the perfect idea. And the way to get around that is by practicing letting yourself have bad ideas. So I think like the big thing, that's also part of why I've been watching so much stand-up, is because that's like a smaller exposure in that I'm not writing it, but I'm still like watching it and like taking it in, whatever, practicing being uncomfortable, practicing like not being the funniest person in the room, practicing not having to be perfect about it. So like the focus is less like one form and more the act of like being creative and putting myself out there, which has been so good. I think that like there was a time probably like a couple years ago even where I was like, well, there are just certain things that I can't do. And like that's true to an extent. Like I'm actually never going to be like a pro basketball player or something like that, even though I was 100% from the free throw line. But like there are a lot of things that I was like, no, this just makes you really anxious, but like you can do it. It just will be uncomfortable at first and you won't be able to do it all right away. I also think like making the web series was a big part of that, in part because I think some of it is like I have this mental block around like waiting for people to give me permission to make things. And I think honestly, when I met you, Annalise, and you like, we shot an entire episode and I was like, holy shit, like we wrote this, edited it, acted it, Annalise shot it, and it like has come together. Like we have made something here. Like you can just make stuff because like you want to.
I think with film, especially because it's so expensive, of like you need all this equipment and like in theory you would be paying people and there's all these things, and I think like
fingers crossed we'll pay people.
Yeah, that's how I've been thinking. Like how many times can you get away with favors?
And it's not that many. Or it kind of is, but it's like you don't
start
want
to
it
feel
to be
it's like gosh, this I'm like, especially just like getting older, and a lot of my friends freelance, and so it's like this is your job. I acknowledge that.
So like
you are
you
professional.
And I've been like, I feel like I've talked about this with a lot of theater people, and like a lot of theater people are obviously like not really in it for the money. And there are like different ways that you can compensate people. Like I have the friend that I was speaking with, my girlfriend's sister was like, here's how much we pay people per show. It's like a flat rate and everybody makes the same thing. And it's like not a ton of money, but like it is something, like it like would make a difference. But I think like part of it is there just isn't a lot of money in these things until you get to the very top. And when you get to the very top, it's like you have a lot less freedom because you have to appeal to the people that are paying for it, which is tricky. But I feel like that's constantly, I mean, that's kind of the constant issue of being like an independent creative, is that like you do want to pay people, and like it is good to pay people and you should pay people, but like you have, that money has to come from somewhere. So if you don't like come from money or like have some sort of, I don't know, creative fund set up, it's like tricky to figure that out. And a lot of it is like I feel like the smaller art is made just simply by the generosity of other people like contributing to the project. Like Annalise worked so many hours for free on the web series, and we like, you got paid in like sometimes pizza or like sometimes a donut pizza. Or two. Like but like I think it's difficult to be a creative and feel like you're kind of relying on the generosity of your friends and like your collaborators. But I also think that it's a little bit helped by when people are like, well, I also just think this project is cool. Like I think that the reason why, I mean, I don't know, you can speak to this, but it seemed like you just said yes because you were like, this seems like a cool project and I want to be doing more comedy.
Yeah.
And like sometimes that is enough, and like obviously we would have given you $10 million if we could. Like truly would not have come together without Annalise, but I think it helps to get people who are really passionate about it, and also that helps you like make better work and ideally like find more funding for like the next time around, because when you can show people clearly like this is kind of what I want to be doing and like here's what your money would be going to, then I'm hoping it means it makes it a little easier to find the funding so that you can start to pay people.
Yeah. And also at this stage, I feel like you have a community where people are also going to be doing their own work and will also ask for favors. Like I helped out in the episode of the web series and you also were in the musical. And but it's also like you're not thinking about it that way.
I mean, sometimes I am. I would say like sometimes I am thinking about it in terms of like, wait, but I'm so grateful to you for X, Y, and Z, so obviously I'm going to help out with this, even if it's, like, kind of a pain in the ass to get to, like, wherever. Not that that's what that was. I actually... You know what I have been thinking about for, like, weeks? You guys had Grillo's Pickles at the crafty table, and I forgot about those. And literally, you had some sort of
That was
pickle.
all Julie.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna say.
was, you had really good pickles at the crafty table, and I was like trying to figure. I bought some pickles on the way home, and I was like, these aren't as good. Like
On the way home.
on the way home,
You were
I
so
I
inspired.
stopped at the grocery store and I got pickles, and I was like, these aren't as good. And then I was talking to my sister like honestly 3 weeks ago, and she was like, oh, I love a Grillo's pickle, and I was like, Grillo's! There are Grillo's pickles! And I got those. And I was like, this is so amazing. Like, I think that, I don't know. I also am of the mindset that, like, you can pull something good out of literally any project that you're on. And it was also so much fun. Like, I met so many people, and also
It's funny to hear. And you know what? I love your project because of the pickles.
pickles were great.
I do think this is like actually like a real point where yes, you can't always like pay people, but like creating an environment where
Yeah.
people feel taken care of,
Yeah.
and feel like they have fun,
Yeah.
and get to like engage with a lot of
Yeah.
other
People,
talented
who are
and,
fun
like,
and creative.
all
and,
these
like,
things.
yeah.
I think is really, really important, especially if you can't pay people.
Yeah, I think if you can't pay people, you can't afford to have like a shithole working environment.
But there are so many.
I know, and it's like because people are so desperate to be making work and to be making things and to have credits and like things to put in their reel. But I think like part of what makes it so like such a non-question whether I'm gonna do like a project that you reach out to me about is like it's fun to work with you guys, or like it's fun to work with you, or like I trust that you're gonna put people in the room with me that are fun to work with and like interesting, and not that it like needs to be reciprocal, but there's some people who I'm like, well, I definitely owe you a favor, so obviously I'll do this like for free or whatever, which I think is, it's not like ideal, but it is kind of like a community thing that I appreciate.
Your thesis.
Yes.
I had thought for a while that you were a film major because we had a couple film classes together, but now I've learned
What
you were.
classes did we take together?
We were in intro to media together, weren't we? And I believe
I don't think I took that.
we were in animation. We were in
That one, yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes,
It was
we were
the
in animation
same.
together.
It was the same room to me.
Okay.
So that's why I got
For
confused.
sure, for
But
sure.
I know. I remember seeing you in.
No,
that
I know you know who I am. Yeah,
one.
I know who you are as well.
I didn't want you
Famously.
to think now I was like just throwing out all these
No,
classes.
but then we
weren't
also
in that.
we
weren't
met
in
when
that.
we saw the screening of like Sex Lives of College Girls. We also like saw
Right,
each other
right.
because of that. Like we knew each other. We obviously
Yeah.
like ran in similar
Those
circles.
yes.
So it makes sense. But no, I was not a film major, not at all.
Now I know that.
Yeah.
But you did do a film project for your American
Yes.
Studies.
There was like a
thesis.
film and there was an essay. I did 3 digital sketches for my thesis, and I wrote a paper about comedy and audience and self, which I now like look back at and I'm like, oh, you really have a disorder that I won't name that's obsessive and compulsive in nature. Because why are you having all of these thoughts?
What led you to do a digital sketch project for your thesis?
I honestly do not remember, but I think that I think if I had to guess, I think I was looking at my time from college and was like, what would be the most useful to leave college having created? And I was like, I have done all of this sketch. I've done some theater. I like really have enjoyed it. I would like something that I can show to people and be like, this is the kind of work that I want to be making. So maybe it makes sense to film a couple sketches. And initially it was like a super ambitious project where I was like, I'm going to film 3 sketches. I'm going to write 2 more sketches, and I'm going to write a pilot.
Oh wow.
And then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to film 3 sketches, and I'm going to write an essay about how it came together. And the real pilot will be the friends we made along the way. But I'm happy with how it turned out. I did like 3 sketches, and like, obviously I look back now and I'm like, I would do this so differently if I were redoing it. Just like knowing the stuff that I know now about pacing, and also just like knowing how precious I personally can get with things that don't actually contribute or matter very much.
And so did you direct it and acted in
Yeah.
these sketches? How was that experience, especially not having a ton of film background?
Yeah, I co-directed it with Dahlia Habib, who
Oh, okay.
was a sophomore, I think, at the time, but she just like had a lot of film experience, or like more film experience than I had, and I was like, well, she'll know what she's talking about. It was like really, it was giving, I'll build a team of people that I trust to be like
Yeah.
smart and care about, and then we'll figure it out along the way. And I also had Gio Barrios as my DP, and he knew a lot about film, so it was very like learn as you go. Like I learned to use Adobe Premiere in Gio's living room. He like put it on his projector and was like, here's how you like change things and move things around, and like here are some of the keyboard shortcuts. And I was like, okay, and what if you want to change the audio and blah blah blah. And I was just like learning as I went, which I was like, I'm glad that I learned all of this before I left school. I think it was like a super useful skill, especially like doing what I do now, and I like can get really granular about things. And I think it was nice to have Dahlia there to be like, okay, in the overarching sense, like it's actually fine. And I feel like also kind of what I've learned from the web series is that sometimes it's best to just have one job on on a production.
What was the experience of screening the web series? Because I feel like that was the first time. Well, no, that's not true. I guess I screened my thesis. I guess the first time post college that I had something screened to an audience. Did you have any like feelings about that experience? Because obviously you're doing like live, like sketch and live performance a lot in front of people. Is it strange at all to like sit back and just like...
Yeah, it's worse. It's worse. So when you're screening something, that's the only thing you're doing. Like you're just in the audience. When you're performing something, you're performing it. So it's like I actually can't super focus on whether I'm bombing. Well, you like can, but it's like harder. You have more stuff to juggle. But when you're screening something, like I was sitting there trying not to like do this like the whole time I was watching. But I also think it was nice in that I had seen it so many times and I was like, none of this is funny to me anymore. This is bad. Everybody's gonna be like, this looks like dog shit. I was like, the colors are slightly different from this shot to this shot, and that's my fault because I couldn't figure it out, and like blah 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 blah. And then watching it, people were just like, haha, that's funny. And I was like, oh my god, wait wait, we did this. So it's like nice in that I feel like it what is the word, like validates your work.
Yeah.
But it's so nerve-wracking, I feel like, to watch people watch the thing that you have made, especially when you've put so much work into it and asked for so much from other people to go into it. It's hard to watch people like react to it. And it's hard also for me to be like, well, they're only laughing because they know I'm in the room. But I think that's too much. And I think that I am just in my head about it. But I think like screening it ended up being a super good experience. And I was surprised by how willing people were to just like engage with it and take us seriously and like validate our work and ask us questions. Like I think that was like the kind of thing where if you take yourself seriously, sometimes people will just take you seriously.
Yeah, I was also surprised by how many questions were asked.
I know.
Because I was like, people could leave now.
I was like, people could straight up leave. And also like people were asking questions that I was like, I don't know who you are. Like, how did you get in here?
Yeah.
Like people that I was like, oh, did you just came because like you were like, oh, that sounds like kind of fun or whatever. And like, I'm sure they like tangentially knew somebody or whatever, but like people came and they asked questions and they asked good questions too. Like my brother asked a question. I was like, okay, diva, come on. But yeah, it was like it was great. It was like honestly such a good experience. And I loved being able to see people, not to be like I feel like celebrities are like, it's really important to be able to meet the people that your work is affecting. And like, yeah, but not in a douchebag way. Like in a way that's like, oh, okay, somebody watched this and thought it was funny. That's cool. It's cool to like see that person in the room. Yeah. Yeah, no offense to celebrities. I stand with you.
I was gonna say, yeah, you explicitly just agreed with them, except
I did it cooler and more down to earth.
And so you have the web series, and then on the other side of the internet, you also have this like TikTok fame. And so I'm curious.
I wouldn't call it fame.
It's fame to me. I see you like organically, like somebody else, random person in just my For You had posted your video, and I was like, I know this person.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
There was a while where people were like, hey, did you post this on Twitter? Because somebody's posting it and they haven't tagged you. And I was like, no, you don't need to worry about that at all. No, but like sometimes people that I don't need to have seen specific things that I'm making or seeing specific things that I'm making.
What was it like the first time your videos started to get a lot of traction, and like generally what has the audience response been like?
This is actually a question that I practiced answering last night because I was
Really?
thinking it might come up when you texted me the topics we might cover. The first TikTok that I had that kind of blew up was a TikTok that I made during quarantine. I was deep conditioning my hair, so there's a plastic bag on my head in the video, and it was about my sister, and the full dialogue of the TikTok is as follows. Hey guys, today I'm going to be ranking my family members based on their ability to stay the fuck out of my room. Coming in at dead fucking last is my bitch sister Vanessa. And I was like, it was a throwaway TikTok. I was like, this is so stupid. I had a plastic bag on my head, and then at the end there's like a picture of my sister and it says pros none, cons always in my room. And I was like, this is funny to me. And it absolutely blew the fuck up in a way that I was absolutely not expecting. And the worst part was that my sister had gone through she was going through a breakup right when it started to take off. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, this is my big break. So I can't take this down. We all are making sacrifices so that we can make it in the industry. I'm very sorry for what's happening with you. And like, it was totally fine. It was not like she knew it was a joke, and like she would have made the same joke about me, I hope. Like, kind of have sporadically been making videos for the past like 3 or 4 years, I would say. The progressive slave owner video was kind of when I was like, okay, like I can do this. And then that also kind of blew up, and I had some other TikToks in the intermediary time between that and the TikTok about my sister that had like done pretty well. So I was like, you can do this. Like, you can, it's like a skill in that it's like, you have to have a good hook, and like the lighting has to be kind of good. I guess not really. The lighting wasn't that good in the video about my sister, but like it has to be like there's like kind of a formula to it, and you can't always predict what's going to do well and what won't do well, but like you can make stuff that you think is good and put it out there, and sometimes people will find it. And that's, I feel like when I was like, oh, okay, like this is something that I could be doing, like come up with a character, write 20 to 25 jokes about it, shoot it at my desk, and then edit it together, give myself like a couple minutes to improv in case something funny comes out there, and then like put it together, figure out what order they should go in, whatever, post it. And I always feel like a dick about it because it's not something that I feel like I've taken seriously enough to warrant what has happened with it. But I also think I do put in a lot of effort to the videos. Like, it takes me a long time to come up with an idea or to like cut an idea together in a way that I feel satisfied with. And a lot of that is my own disorder that I'm not going to name. But a lot of it is also just like who I am as a writer and an editor and like a director and an actor and whatever. Definitely want to be doing more of, because it's like, it's not free reps, but it's like easy enough. Like, it's a doable practice at a thing that I want to get better at. Yeah, I think it just is, it's a thing you practice. Yeah. And like, it also is a thing that isn't entirely under your control. Like, I have a lot of friends, it's really different on the music side of TikTok. I feel like I have so many friends who are so talented, who I'm like diehard fans. Like, I am a Genius contributor in that I have enough IQ on Genius that I transcribe lyrics and like put up people's, and all of my friends, I'm like, well, obviously this is the best song that's ever written, so send me the lyrics, I'll put them on Genius. I can like add annotations and be like, this is like the debut single from like my gorgeous artist friend who's like so talented, and I write them a little bio sometimes that's like, this is a person who like her lyricism blends like whatever. I try not to get too crazy with it because I don't want them to be like, that's what you think my lyricism blends, but I like, I have so many artist friends who I'm like, you are an incredible artist. And music TikTok, I think, is just so difficult to predict what will take off, what people want to hear, and like so much more difficult to build, I feel like, a following around, because you have to have, like, it's just, to me, it feels so much harder to get like that hook to get people to stay when it's music versus like if you say one funny thing within the first 5 seconds, I think you can have people. Or if you have like a caption that's like people, if you put progressive slave owner, some people are going to be like, what? And then just stay for 5 seconds, but like not everybody's going to stay for like 5 seconds of a guitar playing or something like that. And I think that's like, to me, that is so, it's just so different. Like, I don't know how it's really different depending on what you want to be doing online, how to make it successful digitally. And I feel like I kind of understand the comedy piece of it, and like it is so much more difficult in so many other arenas.
Do you enjoy that part though of like trying to figure out how to make the internet and like all these algorithms and the way audiences online operate, do you enjoy figuring that out for yourself, or is it like bothersome?
Like, yes and no. I feel like the part that I enjoy the most is when I have made something that I think is funny and I am trying to decide which joke to put first. Like, I'm like, which joke will make people stay? Which joke do I think is like the most legible? Which joke do I think sets this up effectively? And the part that I don't enjoy is when I feel like I've done that and it doesn't work, obviously. I love to like research. That's also part of, I keep mentioning this disorder that won't be named, but I love to research and I love to like take in stuff and be like, here's what I thought worked about this and here's what I thought they did effectively and here's like how I can apply that to my stuff. But I think also like with algorithmic social media, you really can't control as much as you think you can. You can control like the stuff that you're putting out, when you're putting it out, the lighting of like the content, the composition of the content, and like your consistency. And that's kind of all. Like you can't actually really control if the algorithm is going to like pick it up and like deliver it to people. You can't control if like somebody big is going to see it and like repost it or whatever. Like you can really only control your piece of it. And I think a lot of it is like putting your best foot forward in the parts that you can control and then like kind of surrendering the rest of the control to whoever makes those algorithms. And I'm not great at that second part, but I do like the first part.
Game time?
Yeah, let's
Game. Is this like a competitive game?
No.
Okay, fine.
Do you like competitive games?
I won't answer that.
I get pretty competitive also.
I probably get more competitive than you, so.
Ooh.
I've been called the most competitive person alive.
I
but
was
don't
called
know.
a tyrant, actually, once. Multiple times.
Well, you're definitely funnier. I'll concede that.
So okay.
Okay. You were like, now that you guys are done with that.
I thought you were done, but then there was a little bit extra I had to let play out.
Yes, and.
What?
Uh-huh. I'm finding
Did
it.
you read these ahead of time?
No.
Okay, I think you should take a second to read them because there may be some toughies in there.
What is it? Wait, now I'm so curious.
I'll explain it once she's...
Oh, well, you can do that one. because-
No, mine are on my card.
Oh, these are mine.
Yes!
Right.
This is the thing. I write out all of these cards before every episode, and Zoe is constant. And I also tell Zoe, I'm like, read them ahead of time because you don't want to be, shocked by them on the spot. Okay, so this is sort of how well you know your own TikTok audience.
Okay.
We are going to read some of your TikTok comments.
Okay.
And you have to place what video
Okay.
the comments are.
Okay.
I have a feeling you're gonna be really good at this. And this is not gonna be
A little
fun.
insane. No, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
It's Jeff Goldblum in Ragnarok. Wait. Ragnarok. Okay, yes.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know this one. Wait, should I just guess?
Yeah, guess.
Ragnarok. What is Ragnarok about?
The Thor movie, the third Thor movie, the
I didn't even
Taika
remember he's
movie.
in that.
Is it the landlord one? Is it the slave owner one?
Yes.
It's slave owner. It's always slave owners.
Our whips are sustainably farmed and cruelty-free. For the cows, obviously, not for you guys.
All right, next one. My coworker called me jovial.
Oh, this is skinnies when fat people.
Yeah.
You look like you give the best hugs.
One that I wish I had put in, but I only saw it afterwards, is somebody commented on a picture of a fat woman on a red carpet. I know she smells so good. And I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
That is not right. But happy you're speaking up.
This is on my one about not getting chosen for Pope.
Yeah. The
And I think
conclave.
I think it was Danny GW.
Yeah, it was. It was.
They said to me, we think we are ready for a black lesbian pope. I think that they were just lying because I cried so much in the interview.
I remember that.
I love that white is implied in the phrase polycule.
Oh, this is woke landlord.
Yeah.
You can go outside and see a white family or a polycule or a group of white roommates. I think it's beautiful to have a neighborhood that is so rich with diversity.
Blank cured the chronic suppulsive anaphasia that I've had since my drug addict mother gave birth next to the Chernobyl nuclear.
That's on my what is it even called? It's medical dramas when they only have one line to give exposition.
Yes.
It's so good. Sometimes people in the comments, I'm like, you should be writing things.
I have myocardial infectionitis, which basically means that my heart can't pump blood any more than I could pump my fist at a party. Not that I'd ever be invited to one.
This one is just beautiful lady and then the heart eyes emoji. It's a little bit of a deep cut.
Oh, is this the one where I'm talking about the text that my friend Amanda sent me?
No.
Okay. So what is it?
It's when you're talking about all the time you spend on TikTok and how it's your sensory enrichment time. And
When I'm like, when I'm struggling to put my glasses on.
That one was from 2022.
I'm not wasting my life on TikTok. I'm having sensory enrichment time in my enclosure.
Yeah, I remember that. I shot that at work. I was working in the gym.
That's all we have.
The closer question is, what is making it to you, and why do you have faith that you can make it?
That's such a good question. No, I've been thinking about this a lot. I feel like I have not figured that out yet entirely. I think that like if I like close my eyes and picture like my dream life, I am steadily and consistently employed at something that allows me to do the stuff that I like, the weird shit that I really want to be doing. So like, I don't know if that's like, I write for some sort of network sitcom. I think that would be fun. I think I would be good in a writer's room and I think I would enjoy it. And I also like do sketch and like do TikTok and like make little weird projects with my friends. Like I think the dream is to have like one, like a commercial thing that is profitable, or like a commercial part of my career that is profitable, and then like an indie part of my career that is exciting. And like ideally, I guess those things would be the same. Like ideally I could make weird shit and profit off of it. But like I think I don't know what actually is possible right now, because I feel like the landscape is shifting so rapidly that like the job that I want may not even exist yet.
Yeah.
And that's okay and cool and a little scary, but also exciting. I feel like right now it is difficult for me to look more than like a couple years into the future creatively. Like right now, I feel like my end goal is I would love to be on a sketch team doing sketch. I would love to be consistently posting on TikTok, and I would love to be auditioning more and like doing more live stuff. And like if I ever get to a point in my life where I quit my day job and can do all of those things and like sustain myself, that would be sick. But also like I think that when I picture my life, if I had like the current setup that I have now is I have a part-time job that mostly pays the bills, and I have like the other couple days of the week to like do my creative stuff. I think that right now I'm sort of like, this is exactly what I want to be doing right now. And like, I would love to be making more money, but like, this is exactly the setup that I want, where like my boss is, I'm very lucky in that my boss is very understanding, very flexible. And like, I was like, hey, I need to take this week off to shoot a pilot for something. And she was like, great, obviously you should do that. Can you like check your email for like an hour every night or something like that, just to like put out any fires? And I was like, absolutely, I can. And she was like, great. And I think that I'm sort of like, I can do this indefinitely, and like I would be happy, and like until it no longer makes me happy, or until like different doors open or like the perfect job comes, I think that's like kind of what I want to be doing. I think like there's so many directions my life could go, and a lot of it depends on like what happens with me personally. Like, am I going to be able to find, like, I'm turning 26 in a couple weeks. Like, am I going to be able to find health insurance that works for me? And like, what is going to happen with the economy? And like, is my boss going to need an assistant forever? Like, there's just a lot of questions I can't answer. I feel like the dream is to be living in a beautiful apartment with a cat, and to have dinners with my friends that I love and have people over for dinner parties, and to be growing herbs in my little kitchen window and like using those and making pesto. And like when I go to other people's houses, I'm like, oh, I brought you some lemon yuzu simple syrup as like a housewarming gift. And or like I brought you some homemade pesto or whatever. And then like during the day, I have a cat. I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't have one now, but in my dream, I have a cat.
I was gonna say, I was like, I thought you
No. I don't have a cat. I can't afford it. But in my dreams, I have a cat. I'm stable. I'm in therapy. I'm like being treated for whatever is happening. And I'm like taking good care of myself. And also I am like pushing myself creatively and like working with other people and meeting new people and trying to like put myself out there as much as possible. And like, I don't know what specific iteration of that will be best because I don't know who I'm going to be in like a year and a half. But I'm hoping she's hot. I also have a hammock. There's a hammock somewhere. I have access to an outdoor space and there's a hammock in it. I think it's hard to have faith that you will make it when you have a really specific goal. Like I feel like when my definition of making it was like, I want to be on SNL. I was like, okay, well, I actually don't have faith that I'll do that because so few people do that. But when making it is like, I would like to be happy and cared for and like have people in my life that I care about and projects that I feel passionate about, it's much easier to be like, okay, well, I've created that life for myself now, so I can continue to create that. And like circumstances might make it much more difficult, and I'm sure they absolutely will because that is the nature of things. But like, I think that part of it is just I have faith in the people around me, I think is part of it. Like I am friends with and work with so many people that I know to be incredibly talented and driven. And I have faith in my personal ability to pull myself out of difficult circumstances to an extent. In that, like, I know myself well enough to know that, like, I need a standing meeting with someone every week if I'm gonna, like, actually get anything done or see people. And I need something like that. And, like, I'm learning so much about myself that is, like, here's how to set myself up for success that I'm like, okay, I can probably pull this off. Yeah. And yeah, I think also just like having faith in the people around you works in that when I don't have faith in myself, I'm like, well, they probably have kind of a similar level of faith in me than to what I have in them. And it all kind of comes out in the wash. Like, I'm like, if I don't believe in myself, but I believe in you guys and you guys believe in me, then it's like the transitive property. We're all believing in ourselves. You know what I mean? Just,
yeah, I know. I really like that
answer.
I really do think it is like when, like, I have so much faith in the people that I work with, and I'm like, well, they probably have, and maybe they don't have this kind of faith in me, but I don't know. I can believe that they do. And I think it is nice to have people that you're like, oh, you're so smart and so talented, being like, I think you're so smart and so talented.
Yeah, this is actually kind of like what you were talking about last time too, of like that idea of I'm so happy for you, of like seeing people that you're peers with becoming very successful, except not really having that feeling of like discomfort or jealousy because it's like their success also is like your success, and it's like people you're working with and want to see succeed, and you will probably like continue to be working with and believe in you.
I think there like is also still, there can be still an element of like jealousy of like, fuck, I wish I were doing that. Like there are things that my friends do that I'm like, God, I wish that were me. But I also am like, there's no piece of me that wants to take it away from them so that I can have it. I'm just like, I want that also.
Yeah.
Which feels different from like, that should be me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also have the feeling of like, thank God all my friends are so talented. Because like, how would I do this on my own?
Mm-hmm.
Everything would be so much worse.
I know. It's like, yeah, it really is like a, thank God you guys are actually good at this shit. Because it would be crazy if I was like, yeah, I have to work with you guys and you guys kind of suck at this.
But I love that your idea of making it is like wide enough for you to kind of have so many different possible outcomes and still be happy and still be successful. And I think that's like a similar thing I've been trying to do, of like being less attached to one specific idea, but more over like, what do I want my life to like feel like?
Mm-hmm. I think it's hard to get like one specific idea because I think then I get super attached to it and frustrated when it like, or if it doesn't happen. Yeah. And I think like there really is just only so much you can control. Yeah. So trying to be like, these are things that I think I can control and like can work on and like can build, and it might not look the way that I thought it would, but I can make it. I think that's important to me.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. No, this was great. This was so much fun.
You've been listening to the Hold for Focus podcast created by Annalisa Yudovan Ratner and Zoe Sinclair. Today's featured guest was Charlotte Polk. Theme music by Luca Vanier.